Parashat משפטים תשפ"ג. It's a short parsha, simple to learn actually, but extremely hard in terms of psukim, in terms of message embedded in this psukim. Each pasuk is monumental. We're gonna start and arrive how far we can go. This is for this week. I didn't fill up 2 pages, just one. We're gonna make one pasuk, but what we're gonna learn is mind-blowing. Ve'ele hamishpatim. And these are the laws. So we basically here, we before Har Sinai, not after, we before. And when it's repeated, the Bnei Israel are in Mara, and when it's repeated in Devarim, it says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu to teach them Mishpatim, Chukim, and Torahs. Mean the laws, the one with the reason, the one where the reason is not revealed, and the Torahs. I'm not going to go into what everyone means, but here we only go after the Mishpatim. You know, this usually refers to the based-in type of laws that, you know, can be judged down here. Okay? Asher tasim nifneihem, that you have to lay out before them. Rashi says like a shulchan aruch, like laid out when, you know, before a meal, you prepare the table, it's laid out. You know, Choshen Mishpat is one of the hardest halachas, the hardest halachas. And those halachas you have to teach. In other places, Moshe comes and HaKadosh Baruch Hu orders him to teach us. On here, no, they're hard halachas, but don't teach us. Just lay them out. Let them decide what they want to do. Doesn't make much sense. What's the first halacha, the biggest one, everything? Ki sikne eved ivri. When you purchase eved ivri. This halachas, and after that we go to the Amma when you're buying a servant, female servant. These halachas only apply when the yovel is in force, meaning that when you have the Beis Hamikdash, when you have the Sanhedrin, you know, did you guys ever buy Eved Ivri? No. And are you going to buy one? No. Don't you think stealing, cheating is a more important halacha? Don't you think not lending with interest? I mean, the common business halachas, you know, kind of touch us a lot more than this halacha. Why is this? The Torah takes such a far-fetched halacha and start with that. Ve'ele mishpatim, you know, in the order of the Torah, we finish with Har Sinai, and you have to know that I'm watching you. Now that you know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu rules the world, and he ordered us, he betrothed us, and he gave us the Torah, and we raised ourselves to a point where we canceled the death, we even beat the Malach HaMaves. First mitzvah we're getting. You know what? When you buy, who said I'm even going to buy an Evan? Maybe I'm not going to buy. So why do you tell me when you'll buy? It's a very interesting approach the Torah has, yeah, ribis will be mentioned down the line in the Parasha. But there are so many different halachas in terms of ribis, to the point that the Torah calls him a person who lends money with interest has two assurances. First assurance he has, that's when he's going to be in the kever, a snake will surround his body, guaranteed. In the chuvas of the Shevet Alevi, which was Vosner, was just a few years ago, there was a story. They buried someone Erev Shabbos, and guy of the Chevra Kadisha, so he was such a rush, he had his wallet in his shirt pocket. And somehow he had a presence of mind to think that if I lose it, I know it's in this kever. But there was so much rushing minutes before Shabbos. And indeed, after the finish, he gets home. Where's my wallet? So Sunday he goes there. So he asked Rabbi Vosner if he can dig it out because he knows he lost it there. He told him, you can. He digs it out. He finds it. But what he sees shocks him. He sees the body with the huge snakes around it. So he went right away to Rabbi Vosner and said, should I kill the snake? Vosner said, you can do nothing. This is the din of heaven. This guy was probably lending money with interest. And indeed, it was like this, they found out. The second assurance that person has, in Tchias HaMeisim, he will not get up. There's no Tchiyah for him. There's no future. This life, whatever he has, then it's punishment forever. Where do we learn this from? From Yechezkel. When he arrived to the valley where the bones of the Shevet Ephraim, who left Mitzrayim earlier, thinking it was time for the Geula, the Pelishtim fell on them and killed them all. And their bones remained in the Midbar. When Yechezkel came, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, revive these bones. Whatever, I make the story short. The Yechezkel davened for them, and sinus started growing. The bones started approaching one another, and the sinus started growing, and flesh started coming. All stood up alive, as they were when they left Mitzrayim. But one. So Yechezkel started talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Said, what about this one? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, forget about this one. He was lending money with ribis, with interest. He's not going to get up. He's going to stay bones. Okay, you see, it's an important subject. And the fact that he brought down in Halacha, Siman Kuf Samech Bes, in your idea, that if you lend money to someone, you're not allowed to have any profit or even something that may look like a profit, even though for him it's not a profit, but you benefiting from it. For instance, the guy has a second house he doesn't use, never rents it. Just like this, rich guy, doesn't even care. You say, look, I have a simcha here, can I use your house? And he says, yes. And you lent him money because he needed in a deal, whatever. And he says, you asking him politely, how much do I owe you? He says, I forget it. Even though you have not benefited from he has not lost anything, like in the interest. Usually you take out of your pocket, you give it to someone else. Here, you haven't done nothing because this guy doesn't care, but you benefited. It's a one side. So even on a one side profit, it's asur. It's very, very critical. Interest, lending with interest, even though there's a hater, iska and everything, I'm telling you, it's better to run away from all this or to work with a goy. So I'm not going to destroy a whole Jewish industry here, But I can tell you one thing. I've seen in Beis Din a few heter iska that were not standing the ground. Some rabbis who don't know the right from the left, or obviously, or they were downloaded from Google. And it was a guy who posted them, and they don't know much about Hilchis Ribis, and they were really not covering, not permitting learning with interest. Anyway, we can see from here that we have a major din, which has major consequences. The guy is down in the belly of the snake, to the point that in reality, a snake, even in the kever, is not going to have any rest, any possibility to enjoy the life to come. He will suffer terribly. He is koifer on Yetzias Mitzrayim. He reneges that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took us out of Mitzrayim, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the very one who took us out of Mitzrayim, told us, don't learn with interest. He reneges HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself. Like they said, after Matan Torah, Hayesh Hashem Bekirbeinu im Ayin. Is there a Kadosh Baruch Hu among us or not? Im Ayin. Or there's nothing. Even though the Zohar explained this pasuk differently, I'm just going with the pshat right now. So, why bringing the Eved here? Why talking about a slave? I mean, Torah is consistency, is the halachas that happen on a daily basis. These are the halachas that I have to cover. The halachas that can happen only the time Beis Hamikdash, I'll have the Sanhedrin, then I'll be able to ask the question. So why do we start on the Mishpatim this? I would love to cover with you tonight who is the Eved and who is the Alma, because this is another. But my mission is you should walk every time from a shir with something practical in your hands. So I was really juggling today. Should I give a big overlook and start talking very fast and give them a lot of data, or should I kind of take it slow, and B'ez Hashem will have another opportunity to talk about the rest, the Gilgulim and everything, and still going to touch the Gilgul a bit today, but to go into depth, how the Beis Din Shel Maila, who is the one, has the Gilgul happen? So when there's a Gilgul, which body at the Tchias HaMeisim will rise? Let's say the guy had 5 Gilgulim, Chaz v'Shalom. So 5 Gilgulim, so you had 5 bodies for the same neshama. So where is the neshama gonna go after, in Tchias HaMeisim? This inyan of the Gilgulim is a very interesting inyan, and very understandable. But let's start. In the Midrash Haggadah, it says in the pasuk, we saw in the pasuk, ve'ele hamishpatim, these are the laws, asher tasim, that you're going to have to lay out before them. It didn't say lifnei bnei Yisrael or lifnei hem. Should have said, usually you say daber bnei Yisrael, but here, no. Just lay them out. So learns from here the Midrash Haggadah, tremendous halacha that's paskin in Choshen Mishpat, Simen Chavav Saif Aleph. Interesting. Chavav is Hashem Aleph Echad. In the thing of Hashem Echad, the Mechaber paskin, the Shulchan Aruch paskin this halacha. What it means lifneihem? Lifneihem veloy lifnei goyim. These halachas apply to the Yidden, but not to the goyim. In other words, what is that? That anyone that goes for a judgment before goyim, en loy chelek le'olam haba. he's not going to see the Olam Haba. You know, today he said, don't trust Dayanim. You try to rationalize and to basically pat yourself in the back. And we're going to go down this subject completely, and we're going to see the monstrosity that's behind this. So, don't touch it down, don't let this, and all this. This baby, he knows nothing, and this one, he knows nothing, and this one, he knows nothing. Okay. So I'm going to go before going out. Them you trust, yes? The guy that doesn't care about thing and he just, no, this one you trust. And he says, why? Because he's kofer be'eloike Yisrael, he's kofer of Chaz v'shalom, of the existence of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, by the fact he just going to the secular course. And he keeps on, he says, the Baracher, which is also brought down in Halacha. First of all, I would like to add on the Lashon, the Mechaber goes even further than that. And he says, Ke'ilu chaz v'shalom mecharef u'megadef. He curses, and megadef, it's even more than curses. It's calling names on HaKadosh Baruch Hu, just for going to secular court and not going to Beis Din. However, he says, Ve'ele ha-mishpatim. What do you mean? These are the laws that if a dayan pasken a din, not emes la'amitoi, truly he went in, he sweated, and he's trying to figure out what's the din. Because no din, you know, when you learn Shulchan Aruch, is very well organized. You have simanim, you have seifim, so, you know, very well put together and everything, and you learn them. However, when a case in actual life happens, it doesn't go like this with you know, a special line of good tables with with the rows and the columns. No. It goes across, and sometimes turns around, goes back across the other way, and you have to take the thread, catch the thread, and bead by bead, patiently take it out. It's really nerves-wracking. And this part has this halacha, this part has this halacha, this part. But now, when this halacha is with this halacha, the din is like this. And with this halacha going against this halacha, the din is like that. But when the three are together, where do I find it? So and then it's tremendous work to be able to write a psak. Tremendous work. You spend 3 hours in Beis Din, you spend 30 hours behind the scene in order to come out with a psak. It's a ratio of 10. And that if you know. But if you don't know, it's going to take you months. So a person, a dayan, which does his job and is looking for din emet la'amitoi, then he became, it's like he is, a shutaf, a partner to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the creation of the world. Wow. We have the pitfall on one hand, the guy goes to secular court, and we have the sky on the other hand, is the dayan that does his work properly. The Gemara in Gittin explains that, and it's also paskin in Simin Chavav in Shulchan Aruch, Amar Rabbi Tarfon, that even if you have, so when the Torah says you cannot go before a secular court unless it's permitted by Beis Din, when this is so, even if these goyim are going to use Shulchan Aruch to paskin the halacha, they're going to forget about secular law. They're going to use rabbinical law. Despite that, it's asur, the same isur apply. So you see, it's not because the law will differ and you will still, this is another isur, and it's brought down in Shulchan Aruch also. However, because they enable you to be a thief. But this is a different Isser. The Isser is to appear before a Goyish court. And he learns from this, Lifneihem below Lifnei Goyim. It told in general term that you're not allowed to appear at all before Goyim. What's the reason behind that? You know what the Gemara says? The Gemara says very simply. Because with Dayanim, the Shechina is there. Eloikim nitzav ba'adas kel. Eloikim, which is HaKadosh Baruch Hu with the Midas Adin, stands in an Eidah, in an assembly of Chesed. In other words, when Dayanim are sitting down, you may think they will pasken. No, sorry. Ki hamishpat leloikimhu. Because they are mouthpieces. The mishpat, the din, belongs to Hashem. The only one who paskens dinim, it's not the Dayanim. Oh, he told me I did, and I feel he was against me, and I feel this, and I feel that. What do you think? People say what they want. People do what they want. That's reneging Hashem. This is pure kfir to think like this. The Midrash brings down when Moshe Rabbeinu was in Shamayim to get the Torah, right before he left, he had a little bit of surprising demand to Hashem. Hashem, I would like to see your din. Hashem said, okay, turn around and look at the picture before your eyes. He sees before his eyes a soldier on a horse coming next to a river. He was very thirsty. He came down from his horse. He bent down to drink from the river. A purse came out of his pocket. He drank. He didn't feel anything. He went back on his horse and he left. Came a kid with his little flock. He brought them to drink at the river, and he saw the purse and he took it and he left. There came a very poor old man. He saw the river, the freshness of the river. He saw a big tree next to the river with a lot of shade, and it was a sunny day. He decided to thank Hashem for what he did for him. He washed, he ate his old bread with cheese. He benched, and he put his bag under his head and fell asleep, the sleep of the just. All of a sudden, Moshe Rabbeinu sees the soldier coming back, full gallop, and looking around by the river, he doesn't find his purse. And now he sees this old man sleeping. He goes, old man, get up. Try to wake up. Says, guys, what's wrong with you? Why do you wake me up? So he tells him, you're the only one here. I lost my purse here, you took it. So the old man had some azes and told him, was brazen, and told him, don't make me get up, or I'll kick you. I'll teach you a lesson. The other guy took his sword, killed him, looked through his bag, and checked his body, didn't find the purse, and he left. Moshe Rabbeinu turned towards Hashem and said, what kind of justice is that? What did the poor man do? He was already poor. He was old. He was just resting. He blessed Hashem. Why did he deserve that? Hashem told him, turn to the other side and look at the picture. And he turned to the other side, and he sees there was a policeman on a horse and a thief. There was a father and his son walking. Forgot the reason where they were going, and the father had a big purse on him. I mean, he had a purse with a lot of money on him. A thief came out of the bush, stabbed him, killed him, before his son and took the purse. Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, the soldiers was the cup you saw. The old man was the thief that killed that person. And the son was the heir of the father, which deserved the Yerusha, so he got the purse. Moshe Rabbeinu said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the tzedek, the mishpat, the righteousness, and the scales, tremendous. They all came in Gilgul. They had to pay. And that's the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu measured that each one will pay for his own sins. And that's how it was. Obviously, the soldier will pay again because he killed another person. So this is when we see that Elohim Nitzav Ba'adaskel, it's not just a saying. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Shechina, is with the Dayanim, and the Shechina gives them understanding, the das, to understand. When you take Elohim Nitzav, HaKadosh Baruch Hu stands. What it means, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Shechina stands? I'd like to understand. Elohim Nitzav equals 228, exactly like the word Baruch. Every time we say Baruch Atah Hashem, Baruch is 228. However, says the Ari HaKadosh, in the kavanos of the brachas, you have to take also the number of letters. It's Baruch 228. There's 4 letters: Bes, Reish, Vav, Chaf, plus 4, 232. 232 remember the Yud Ke Vav Ke in Atzilus, the Yud Ke Vav Ke in Beria, in the Olam HaBriya, the Yud Ke Vav Ke in Yetzirot, in the 4 worlds, Yud Ke Vav Ke. There's a unification of the world. 1, 2, 3, 4, altogether equals 232. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when a Dayan sits down and really wants to do the right thing, he wants to bring the din according to the Torah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, give him Hatzlacha with all the names of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that are going to flow. So he's connected all the way to Atzilus. When we say Ba'adas Kel, in the Eidah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he's connecting himself to the Bina. Because Ba'adas Kel equals 505, like Sarah, by the way, which was in the Bina. 505 equals Or Pene Melech Chaim. You know, we say all over on the Aseres Yemei Tshuva, we say Zachenu Lechaim Melech Hafetz B'Chaim. Because what are we doing? Rhythm here, poems with Elohim Chaim, Elohim this. That's what we're doing. And then oh, we're doing another poem there. All of them. No. We're talking right here to the Bina. Right here. Elohim Chaim is the Bina. So Chazal have disguised the places to which we address the tefillah and the power, which power we're trying to get back, because what is Chaim? What is life? Life, automatically synonym of enjoying, light, everything. Someone who is stricken by sicknesses, chas v'shalom, and even worse, with poverty, Does he have life? No, he has no life. Poverty is one of the 4 things that are equal to death, says the Gemara Nedarim. Now, our poor Eved, not only he was poor, that he cannot buy food, because an Eved cannot sell himself to be an Eved if he has one thing that he could sell. The Torah didn't allow him. He really arrived to the point that he has nothing to sell and he has no way, no means to buy food. At that point, he's entitled to sell himself. So he's stricken first by death, because Aeneas, Eov says himself, thanks Hashem, in all his misery, he didn't strike him with poverty, because poverty is even worse than what Eov suffered. To tell you the level what poverty brings, next time you see a poor, you know what he's going through. Now, we bury the Eved to even lower to a level where it's 1,000 death. What the heck? Is he not a Jew? Is he not a ben of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Why is there such, I don't want to call it stringent, but cruel deed on that person? We just saw that HaKadosh Baruch Hu measures everything. So we're going to rephrase what we said. What has this Eved done to deserve such a striking punishment? Before I'm going to get to the Eved, I would like to dig. It's all connected. That's why you're going to see the Eved right away, and we're going to start answering that question, why it started with the Eved. But I'm going to have to go every time like this a little bit in loop to remind you that there's a connection to the Eved. One at a time you're going to see until we're going to build up a massive connection. The Kamana HaKadosh, the Rebbe of Kamana, was a Malach Hashem, was a tremendous, it was just fire. Says, what's the reason? Or at least, you know, this is a deeper reason, but there are many more in the Torah. But what's the reason the Torah forbade us to go before Goyim? Yes, the fact a Jew, you don't realize, but the fact a Jew appears before a Goy, automatically up there in Shamayim, the Shechina is basically your portion of the Shechina goes under the Sar, the minister of this Goyim. In other words, you're taking the Kavod of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is every time it's referred to Kavod Hashem, it's the Shechina, and you put it under the Goyim. So when comes Yom Adin, in Shamayim, there are, when comes the day of judgment, 2 chambers. One chamber is called the chamber of Schus, and the second chamber is called the chamber of Choiva. So Schus is merit, Choiva is guilty. When a person goes before Dayanim, when comes the Yom Adin that he has, HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes him right away in the Heichal, in the chamber of Schus, of merits. He has a lot of merits because he did a Kiddush Hashem by going into the chamber of merits. Parenthesis, when you see this Mrs. Paley that lost 2 children, Rachmana litzlan, last week, and it says in the Zohar of this week why children go. It explains everything. The Zohar this week is a whole book on this Parasha. Small Parasha, a whole book. Not as big as Bereshis, but close to. So just to show you the depth of what there is. And she genuinely explained that she believes in Hashem, and those korbanos HaKadosh Baruch Hu decided to take them for Am Yisrael is the Kiddush Hashem that came out of there, that I was reading on my phone, that even CNN picked it up and made a whole article, a huge article out of this. When we Mekadesh Shem Shamayim, we accomplish the purpose of our coming to this world. There is no other reason. In one sentence, is to try through every action to bring Kavod Shamayim, because when we bring Kavod Shamayim, we raise the Shechina. The Shechina was sent with us in Galus, and after the 6,000 years, the Eved 6 years he works, the Shechina is down here 6,000 years. Maybe there's a correlation, right? Yes, the Amma Ivriya is called the Shechina. But we're going to go simply as much as we can, how far we can go today in the Shir, as Hashem will see. So the Kamana HaKadosh says, when someone puts down the Shechina, he's dealt with in the guilty chamber. In other words, he's already guilty before starting. And what happens there? They are the Dayanim, the judges, are very, very strict. They have no feelings, nothing. It's the din purely. And when they start digging, it's like the IRS. When they start digging after someone, they always find something else. And then they build up, and then they build up. It's pulling the deposition, the system. In the schus, on the other hand, is adaskel. Kel is chesed. We're not regarding on the din. You did this because of this. Fine. Say there. Okay, we're going to be mavir al pesha. We're going to remove the sins. While the other guys for the same sin, who are the judges in the Heichel Schus, says the Kormana? It's important I show you this one. If you take Heichel Schus, that's the name of it. It's brought down in the Zohar, the 7 of them. Okay, Heichel Schus equals 498. Equals to Kel Shakai Kel Yud Keva K Kel Agnes. Exactly. These are the judges. You see, the judges have the word kel, which come from chesed. All of them. So even the Shechina here, which is in the word adoy, you see din, dalit, yun, nun, with the word aleph from kehye. So that's the connection. That's how this name came from. It's din plus aleph from kehye. So the 3 of them are the judges, and they're very forgiving because they have the word kel. The name kel before them, which is in the chesed. On the other hand, the other guy is in, I should tell you at the same time. The other guy is into complete din Elohim, the hot 10 Elohim that are there, and there's nothing, he's never going to get out of it. Now, the Zohar says there are 4 Heichel Schus. Inside that chamber, there are 4 chambers, one above the other, depending on the deed of the person and how much Kiddush Hashem he did. There are 4 chambers, one on top of another. If you take now 4 times, we say it's 498. 4 times Heichel Schus, 498, equals 1992, right? Equals When a person follows the dinim of the Torah, when the person appears before Beis Din, when a person refrain himself, he could have a better claim if he had gone to court. But the Torah said, you have to go before Beis Din. Then you're going to the four Heichal Haschus on Rosh Hashanah. And who judges you? The name Kel Shakai, the name Kel Hashem, and the name Kel Adnus. These are your judges. In other words, they're not regarding, they don't understand. They're very comprehensive, comprehensive. They'll find you the excuse if you can find it yourself. This is what you have. And this is the importance of going. Why it says, Eloikim nitzav ba'adaskel. This is the Eile HaMishpatim, what it says Mishpatim, because here, you see the level already. We're not going to be, we thought Ve'eile HaMishpatim, now we're going to start to enunciate, all the dinim. No, we bring you to another level. The consequences of your actions, in your approach to dinim. That's what we're talking about. We don't want to talk about chukim and Torahs. We're not here trying to give you the 613 mitzvahs, and read them like a Megillah. Not at all. The Torah tells you what consequence you have when you do approach the dinim the right way. Though we have to understand something. The Midrash said it's a din emes la'amitoi, need to be explained what it means. And the second thing we need to understand is what it means he becomes a shutef to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, a dayan, becomes a shutef to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You can see that Moshe Rabbeinu is speaking at the same time to two types of people. He's speaking to the dayanim, and he's going to be speaking also to the regular people that are going to go to the dayanim. He's not only speaking, so he was not here just to lay out a series of dinim. He's going to lay out the consequences for each side, what they do, and what's going to be the consequence. Now, the shir starts. This was all an introduction. It was a long one, but you will see what comes out of all this introduction. Midrash Rabbah brings here in this Parasha, HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells the Goyim, if I wanted, I would change the din. And I would free the Bnei Israel in one instant, and I will erase you totally from the face of earth. And Hashem turns around and says to Bnei Israel, you see, I could do that, but I don't. Why? Because I follow the din. The same way, you must follow the din. Why? Because in the din, you have layers of emunah. You have layers of bitachon. This guy, this dayan, I really don't like him. And I'm telling you, I have a strong hunch. I don't want to say what. You have to know that whatever din will be coming out of the mouth of these dayanim and this dayan is because Hashem decided so. Reb Nachman, which is not terrorists that I bring down a lot. I'm going to bring you a piece on Kriya Shema about this. Remind me that it's just mind-boggling. How far a person should rely on Hashem. How much is it requested from us? And you're going to see how much clash we're going to have with the current philosophies. And so HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Bnei Israel to follow the din. We saw wow, time is running. The Perach Shushan, which was in 1620 in Morocco. His name is Rabbi Yaakov, has a hard name for me to remember, Ifergan. Rabbi Yaakov Ifergan, Zecher Tzaddik Kodesh Livracha, tremendous Torahs. Writes in his Sefer on Pirkei Avos, it says, Eloikim lo yisekalo. A dayan is called Eloikim because he applies the din. So it's also mikan, the halacha, we learned that it's also to be mekal the dayan. So he says, besides that pshat, there is another pshat here. Eloikim is Hashem also, is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Whatever happens to you in life, don't grumble. Don't you act as if it was unforeseen, bad luck. This guy is lucky, he won the $2 billion lotto. Me, I'm unlucky, I didn't win it. I'd like to see the end of that guy anyway, and you will see. So, and so forth. You start becoming judgmental about what's happening to you. Eloikim lo yisekalo. This is a foundation of the emunah. Don't you go after what happens. When a person puts himself in the forefront of the life and everything, I want this and I want to do this. Hashem, do what I want. No. This is the wrong attitude. Hashem, show me the path. Show me my Parasha. Hashem, help me in my Parasha. I'll just follow your lead. This is the correct path. Hashem will show you your path. But if you say, Hashem, I'm the horse, I'm leading, Hashem will tell you, keep on leading. Once you're tired of running around and turning around in the desert without finding water, come back to me. I'll show you where the water is. This is the philosophy of the Torah. Eloikim lo yisekalo. Don't go and be judgmental and start grumbling, because this is a chisaron of emunah. The emunah starts by accepting happily, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is guiding you. By showing you a little peak here that you call a big problem, it's a nothing, basically. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu is showing you you're going off the road and you're falling asleep on your cart, and you're going to go off the cliff. All right? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu, rather than you going off the cliff, is giving you a little knap and say, wake up, buddy, get back on the road. You're going to say, oh, where did you knap me? Or you're going to say, thank you. Someone had done that to you. You're in your car and you fell asleep, which happened to me on a bridge. And the guy, gave me a slap. I woke up and I saw I was in Maryland on this big hanging bridge. I remember all my life. I was in yeshiva at that time. And but it was extremely dangerous. You say thank you. But us, when we talk about Hashem, no, because we won't. We are the one. We exist. No. You only exist because HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts a little piece of him inside us. The body is dead. What's dead never lives. What lives never dies. The neshama will never die. The body will never live. Oh, he's alive? No, he's not alive. The neshama, basically, this tells you the neshama is inside, because the body was never alive and it's never alive. So stop thinking about the body, because the body is nothing. It's dust and will return to dust. However, the neshama, which is a piece of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that makes, when I say I don't say my body, I say my neshama, which that is the who I am, says that. So you have to remember that part. Now let's approach this cruel din. Since now we've been going into the din, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is misericordious with the guy who goes to Beis Din. Our Eved went 4 times to Beis Din and still ends up having to be enslaved and work for someone in order to have food to eat and to be able to live. What kind of a din is that? HaKadosh Baruch Hu says in Tehillim, David HaMelech says in Tehillim, V'rachamo bal kol ma'asav. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has mercy on every of his creatures. Kol sheken on a human being, kol sheken on a Ben Yisrael. How can a Jew fall so low that not only he has nothing, but his only way to remain alive is to sell himself? And the Torah says, you know what? He can sell himself, and he's going to have to work for 6 years. And on the 7th to become out. The mitzvah of Eved in the Torah is the 42nd mitzvah. Nothing ever occurs by chance. The 42nd mitzvah will lead us to understand the whole connection and where is the chet of the Eved. The Gemara says in Kiddushin that Omar Rabbi Yehuda, Omar Rav, that the name of 42 letters, I don't know if I still have it here. I don't think I took it off. Oh, the name of 42 letters. You remember the Ana Bechoyach, Nechunya ben Akana? When you read it, you should read it from the letters, not read it from here. Ana Bechoyach, and 2 by 2, not 3, not more than 2 by 2. Ana Bechoyach Gedulas Yeminecha Tatir Tzerura Chesed. Kabel Rinas Amecha Sagvenu Taharenu Noira Gvura. In other words, I don't know where is the. We're starting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many names we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 names. Can I get all the spheres that manage this world? Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hoid, Yesod, Malchus. And after that, we say Baruch Shem Kevod Malchus Olam Boed, which is also a name. Beshin Chaf Lamed Vav. If I recall properly, it's 398, which equals to Matatroin Chanoich, the Sar, the minister of the Olam HaYetzira. He is from the good of the Eitz Hadas. In the Eitz Hadas, you have 2 angels. On one hand, you have the Nachash, which is the Sam, from the bad side. And on the good side, when Chanoich, it says Chanoich disappeared because HaKadosh Baruch Hu took him, he became the Malach Matatroin, which we call the Eved Hashem. He becomes the Eved. So here we have the name of 42 letters. And Rabbi Yehuda says it's also to read the name of 42 the way it's written. There's obviously a punctuation on the words, and depending what we want, you know what the vowelization is in the Torah? It's higher than the letters. You have letters that's basically having a gun, and in that gun you put bullets. And with that bullets, you can turn on anyone and press the gun, it's not going to work. With letters by himself, it's a bit different. It's not so extreme as my example, but the vowels will give the power, the munition to do what you want. With these 42 letters, which is higher than the name of 72, to tell you the height of this name, a person who knows how to use it can do anything he wants in this world. Anything. There's no limitations anymore. So says the Gemara, it's also to give it, to teach it to people, to ignoramus, or someone is not humble, and someone that still hasn't passed his middle age. You know, it has to be someone that never gets angry, someone that doesn't get drunk, and someone that gives in, people think, as long as there's shalom. And it has to be kept betaira, with purity. So there's a lot of conditions in order to pass on the secrets of that name. And a person that understands that name, people feel fear of him, and angels fear him also. His fear goes in both worlds, up there and down here. And Rab Chanina ben Teradion, he was teaching this name with the vowels and reading them, and they told him not to do this, and therefore he deserved to be burned alive. Rab Chanina ben Teradion, one of the Asar Harugei Malchus. Not here to explain one of my Pirushim, I explained the whole Inyan with him and his daughter going into a house of harlots, what kind of a punishment and why and what happened, what's behind all this. Anyway, I'm not here to explain this right now. I'm here to explain the Shem Mem Beis. This Shem Mem Beis is the ultimate Kedusha, is the ultimate power. Moshe Rabbeinu opened the ocean, the Yam Suf, with this name, the second one, the Gvura. Yisro came back and did what he did with the first name. He was not supposed to be accepted. A person who was choiten machtias rabim, if he sinned and led others to sin, there's no tshuva. But with this name, he was able to find a path for his tshuva. So, and there are a lot of more things I could say about this, but it's not the point of the share today to go in the Shem Mem Beis like this. It says, Pischuli the Zohar say, Pischuli Sharet Tzedek, open me the gates, says David HaMelech, of justice. Avoy vam, I will come in them. Vam, it's written, base mem. I will come with the name of 42 inside there because I know it, I want to go it. So David HaMelech wanted the gates, the Shechina, to open the gates. Ze Ashar Hashem, the Shechina is the gate to Shemaim to go higher. And with the Shem Mem Beis, he wanted to go. And this name, I'm not going to tell you this because we're going to go far deeper, and I see the time is running. So I would like to at least give you a few things. If you take all the 7 names and add them together, Famana Bechoyach, all of them, you arrive to a number 3,701. I know you understand easier if I take and I add all these names together, we're going to get to 3,701. Exactly the pasuk where Yosef was saved from Eshes Potiphar. Vaimaen vayomer el Eshes Adino. He refused and he said to the wife of his master, Hein Adoni, behold my master, lo yoda iti ma babais. Didn't even care what's going on in the house. And everything he has, he gave it to me in my hands, but not you. How can I deceive that? The power that Moshe, so the Midrash says she was the most beautiful woman in the whole of Mitzrayim. So the temptation, and the Torah speak as for human. He was tempted. What saved him? The Shem Mem Beis. Without the Shem Mem Beis, there was no Yosef HaTzadik. Now you're going to tell me, now if I add Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuso Elohim Voed, here is Beis Shin Chaf Lamed Vav. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuso Elohim Voed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuso Elohim Voed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So When you say Kriya Shema, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuso Le'olam Boed. So Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad is 25 letters. When you say Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuso Le'olam Boed, it's 24 letters. 25 plus 24 equals 49. If you take all the names of the 12 Shvatim, Reuben, Shimon, Yehuda, Isaac, and you add the letters, it's 49 letters. Oh, it's nice. What do I do? 12 Shvatim. The 12 Shvatim are the Merkava, the chariot of the Shekhinah. But it's also 7 times 6, 42, plus 7. 49 days between Pesach to Shavuos. If you realize we count the spheres, the 7 spheres, 7 times 6, plus we add another 7. So it becomes 49. 42 and 49 are always connected. It's always 42 are there. The proof is, if you count the words in Ve'ahavta, the first paragraph of Kriya Shema is the name, it's 42 letters. 42 words. 42 words. What do I do? Ve'ahavta es Hashem, all of a sudden, 49, 42, what is it? What am I doing? HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us an opportunity to be able to come in the morning, before we start our day, before we go to the Parasha, to wear a layer of the name of 42 letters. One, we say the first bracha of Shmoneh Esrei. Why is the Mishnah Berurah says, B'davka, this bracha has to be said very slowly and with kavanah? Because it has 42 words. And it refers to the Shem 42. Anything that refers to the name 42 is extremely important because it refers to this name. And I apologize that I'm taking it a bit longer than you. I'm going to take a little bit longer than usual, but I'm coming to an end, to closure. But I would like to explain it very slowly, because this happens. A person who knows how to daven in his places, we're not going to have antagonism. He will have life the way it's supposed to be when it comes from the Bina. Life means chesed, means simcha, and means no problem from this goyim. Things are running smoothly. And you see, and you get happiness of the outcome, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu shows you how much he can give you with much less effort and much lachatz. Just don't think you're doing everything yourself. That's the lesson. Don't you try to drive the car. You're making the biggest mistake. Attach yourself to the back of the car, say, Hashem, I'm weak. I can do nothing. I don't know what to do. I don't know where my Parasha comes from. You'll find it. You'll help me. You will see HaKadosh Baruch Hu will lead you. Here, we have in Kriya Shema, when we do the Yichud of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right after we did the Yichud, right away he gives us an opportunity to start wearing the Shem Mem base by saying the paragraph of Ve'ahavta, understanding the words. I told you, I remind you of the story of Rav Nachman on here. A person should know that even his enemies and the words that come out of their mouth, especially when they shame someone, barabim, he called them hareshaim, ha'arurim, ha'elu. They are cursed reshaim. For doing such a thing, for knocking someone in the back on the name of the Torah and going around and saying lashon hara and be moitzi diba, to be moitzi a shemra on a Jew to others, this guy is a kofer gadol. Because you think HaKadosh Baruch Hu cannot take care of his world? Oh, all of a sudden this guy became a kanai, maybe he's halacha, he doesn't know, and maybe this. Trust me. The guy is what Reb Nachman calls a reshaim ha'arurim, the cursed reshaim, the one who go attack in the dark, the guy who used the tongue like the nachash. You know what Eved Ivri, the gematria of Eved Ivri is? 358. You know 358. It's the Nachash. He did the work of the Nachash. He went in the dark side. He was not honest in his dealings. He became poor. Oh no, this guy is a new guy. So look at him before. A Eved is never a new person. He's always a second body. The Zohar say he is the Gilgul of a Rasha Merusha. Oh, but it's not him. He has done nothing. What do you mean it's not him? Him is his neshama. And now he has to suffer because of what he has done, the pgam, the diminishing, the shame he has brought up to the Shekhinah and to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And this is, even though the Zohar says, Ari HaKadosh in Shar Gilgulim, Shar Akdama Yud, the punishment of Gilgul is 1,000,000 times worse than the punishment of Gan Eden, or of Gehinnom. Gehinnom, the guy goes in a fire, he's cleansed up, he comes out Gan Eden. This one has to go one more life. See, has he been able to arrange everything? No. Okay, another one. And all these bodies that have not performed their task, when it comes to Tchias HaMeisim, where are they going to be? They have no neshama. They're going to be. So the Zohar says they will come back. But with whatever light they have in them. If they have none, they remain dead. They will not revive. If they have made tshuva, or they have, so they come back, like today we see in the world, people with on a wheelchair, chas v'sham, has no legs, this guy also is going to be a body like this. The shame is going to have, it's going to be for eternity. The tachlis of the person is to be able, now we understand a totally different philosophy. When we're talking about the Eved Ivri, we're not talking about the laws of Eved Ivri, we're talking about what brought him to become an Eved Ivri, what brought her to be an Amma. And you can see that even more so from the Amma, because an Amma can only be sold before she is a Naira, before she's 12 years old. And if she has the signs of maturity, right away she's out, she's free. So it means she has not been dealing with business. She has not done anything on her own. But her previous body has done it. And she has to correct it. And I mean, it's a depth, this inyan of Eved, of Neshama. I just want to bring it up that with the Shem Membase, a person had the power to bring. Yisro was able to bring himself up from the depth of the Avodah Zarah all the way to become a luminary in Am Yisrael with one Shem. Once you say Bekavana, and that's Ve'ele Gematria 42. Once you say with really intention and intent of what you want to accomplish, that when I read the paragraph of Ve'ahavta Yubeg HaKadosh Baruch Hu, put on me, these 42 words refer to when you wear your tefillin, right? We said Keye Shekeye. Keye is 21, Keye is Keye 21, Keye 21. 21 and 21, what is it? 42. You have the name on you. Have intent when you put the tefillin. Oh, what's the difference between this one and the other one? I'll finish on this. And there's another one, which I'm going to show you. And I'm finishing on this. If you take Yud K Vav K. You have 4 letters. Now, if I'm opening it, Yud K Vav K, I have 10 letters. 10 and Yud K Vav K, it's 14. Oh, Yad, like a hen. Okay. Now I'm going to open, it's called the Milui of Milui, feeling of the feeling. I'm going to open the second one. Yud Vav Dalet. I'm just going to put a comma to show you which letter I'm having. Hey, Aleph. Vav, Aleph, Vav. That was and now the last letter, Hey, Aleph. Now you have 28, 14, 4, 42. So we said we had the Ana Bechoyach was 42. That's for raising a person from the Olam down below to the one above, Yetzirah, where we were created, the world where the creation occurred. Like the Shechina, when we want to bring it up, Erev Shabbos or in the morning in the Karbonos, we want to go up from the low world to the Olam HaYetzirah, one word up, we use that. Now, if you want to go, and I'm going to show you in here. So with the Ana Bechoyach, we go from here to this world, to Yetzirah. When you have your tefillin, Keye 42, you can go from this one to here. With the Yud Ke Vav Ke, the way I showed you, you can go all the way to Atzilus, where everything is only chesed there. Remember, the 3 times it says the hand in the Torah by Hashem. Yada Chazaka, Yad Rama, and Yada Gedoyla. 3 times 14 equals 42. All Hashem did, the whole Yetzias Mitzrayim happened with the name of 42. So all you have to know at this point, you don't have to be a big mekubal in order to be able to do that. But once I have my tefillin and I put them on, I'm thinking, that's my first kehye. This is the keser of the Shechina. When I put it on my head, I think this is the second kehye, the keser of HaKadosh Baruch Hu on top. And I have the name Shem Mem Beis. Once your machshava is connected to them, automatically you can create a cloth and wear it. Once you in Kriya Shema, you have Keye Asher Keye of Yetzirah. So we have the one in Ana Bechoyach, we've done it in the Karbonos. Now you're in here with the Keye Asher Keye, and you're going up here. Now you're in Kriya Shema. And if you know in the books that says you're in Beria and you're going to go to Atzilus, and you're going to go from Ve'ahavta with 42 to Baruch think till Magen Avram is 42. And with that, a person there, if the Mitzrim were not able with all the Kishuv to keep the Bnei Israel against the name of 42, there is nothing in your life that will stand before you if you have these simple kavanas. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.
Shkoyach.
Not yet.